Hey guys, welcome back to my modded Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. In this episode, as you can see, I'm launching a couple of different missions. This is my escape pod. Also, it's going to be used as kind of like a shuttle whenever I need to send up a couple more Kerbals or bring some down. As you can see, I have a little bitty storage area here where I have my flight computer from Kerbal Engineer, and that's where I store the RCS. And I got the Hitchhiker's container, and that's pretty much it. Got an SAS unit and some RCS thrusters, but that's pretty much it. So cut back to the launch here. It's a pretty uneventful launch. I go ahead and drop the stages here and continue on out. But like I said, pretty uneventful launch. There's really not much to talk about it. I'll go ahead and start talking about my future plans. I think one thing I definitely need to do is redesign this stage, the second stage right here, or I guess third stage technically. Is just so underpowered and it just takes forever. It's efficient, really efficient. I know I keep saying that it gets the job done, but I need to redesign it so I can just burn a little bit quicker and get to orbit a lot faster. It just takes forever. And right here you can just see just making my burns and adjustments to rendezvous and whatnot. But yeah, the space station's actually starting to cause a little bit of issue with my frame rate. I'm starting to drop down to about 15 frames, sometimes a little bit lower depending on what's going on. So I definitely need to go ahead and call that good and not expand on it right now. We'll put it on the back shelf. It's pretty much constructed. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but it's got the main components. I got this escape pod slash shuttle attached. I also launch. Here in a little bit I launch up the a fuel pod, so we'll go ahead and that way we'll have plenty of fuel for whenever we do need to dock and refuel missions that are going elsewhere. But that's coming up in a little bit. Um, yeah, as far as missions coming up, I think we're going to send a rover to the moon to find a pretty good Kethane deposit, and go ahead and set up a shop there. Go ahead and set up a base and get things running there. So that should be cool. And after that, I think we're going to go ahead and probably go inside the solar system to a closer planet. I've never been. I've only been to Duna. I haven't really been to anywhere else outside of the Kerbin uh, planet itself. So I definitely want to do that. And instead of heading out to the outer solar system, I think I'm gonna put my sights inside the solar system. Maybe head to Eve or somewhere like that. I know pretty much once you get to Eve, unless you have a really good amount of fuel and thrust, it's hard to get off because I think the gravity on Eve is like 1.7 that of Kerbin or something like that. So it'd actually take a little bit to get back off. So maybe not Eve, but definitely something. Maybe I'll put a station around the sun. I don't know, just for fun, just to have it out there. Really haven't decided yet, but I definitely want to start working on the moon base. Get that up and running, and see what we can do from there. Um, but yeah, I really don't have any grand plans. I just want to play the game and have fun with some mods and see what we can do with it. Um, and you can see I'm finally approaching and getting pretty close. So I go ahead and get rid of this lower stage, and luckily it still has enough electric charge and everything to go ahead and deorbit. And I think, yeah, I switched to it and I go ahead and get it out of the way and take care of that. So um, not a problem there. I'm trying to deorbit everything I can. Every now and then I will kill something that I like, like that decoupler from an episode or so back, where I was. It would have just been a lot of time just to take care of that one small little piece. So I went ahead and terminated it from the observation building. I can never remember the actual name of that, but and you can see I'm coming up. I'm getting pretty good at rendezvousing with this thing. I must say it's pretty simple. The only issue is, like I said before, was that the frame rate drops pretty bad. It's definitely not something I'm used to. I don't know what exactly it is with this. Maybe it's the mods. Maybe it's all the solar panels. I don't know, but like it drops down to 15 and sometimes 10 frames per second. And I mean that's not the worst in the world, but it's definitely not good. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with, figure out what's going on, and uh, just yeah, I guess just move on from this for now and put it on the back burner. Like I said, I'm just happy that I finally got a station up. I can say that that we're done with that for now. So one thing I know we need to do is come up with a better name than the Kerbin Station 1. That's pretty generic and it needs to go. We need to rename it. So if you guys have any ideas, any suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments and we'll try to figure something out. And that goes for pretty much anything that you can name. If you guys have names that are anything better than what I'm using, which I'm always really bad at coming up with names when a game calls for it. And yeah, you see right there, we got docked. And I think I moved some Kerbals around here in a second. I put everybody in the storage area, the crew area, and the guys have plenty of food. I think they have about a year left for the current crew, which I think we have about 6 now, give or take. We have 2 in the science, Jeb in the command area, and these 3 that we just brought up. So I think yeah, six guys, and I think that's going to be our crew. About 6. We can bring back 7. So, and one thing I didn't do is test and see if this thing is actually able to re-enter and land. I do have 4 parachutes, and I did, as you can see right there, I did add some struts and some structural pieces to reinforce that decoupler right there. I did put the decoupler just in case the parachutes weren't strong enough to support everything. That unfortunately would have to sacrifice whoever's in the hitchhiker's container, and we'll always have we'll put the red suits in the actual capsule, so we'll know it'll be safe, and just sacrifice the other guys. Make sure Jeb, Bill, and Bob make it back. But yeah, you can really see right here how the game's slowing down when I'm EVAing these guys, putting them into the crew area. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of research and snooping around, figure out what exactly is going on with the frame rate. It's probably just my my computer showing its age. My PC, it's not bad by any means, but definitely the CPU is a little outdated, and they could use some upgrading. But we'll have to wait later for that. It's not a good time for that, but. Yeah, I'm actually, it's not the fanciest looking space station, but I'm happy with the way it looks. You know, it definitely looks space station-y, I guess you could say. But I think we got one more. It's just painful to move these guys really at 15 frames a second, and it's just so sluggish. I just don't want to have to deal with the station right now. So I think our future missions are just going to avoid the station and just have that as like a set piece, a backdrop, something then we can see in the orbital view. So, yep, got the everybody moved over. It's empty now. The escape pod is, so we can move on. I think here in just a second we're going to cut to the VAB to show the fuel pod. Alright, so we have a simple setup. It's just one of the KW rocketry fuel tanks. I think it's like the half size of an orange tank or so. And right here, I remember I needed to put some solar panels on it. I don't have any batteries or solar panels, so I went ahead and slapped some on and called it good. I think I put some on the lower stage to deorbit it as well, because it doesn't have any batteries or solar panels either. Yep, there I go. Yeah, I definitely. I was looking, making sure, double checking. So, like I said, it's just a basic setup. We got 4 outer tanks set up as in the asparagus staging, where 2 will fall off at a time, and just a pretty uneventful launch, really, altogether. Again, you know, nothing too much to talk about. I did set up the nose cone to make it look a little more aerodynamic. I know it wasn't needed, but I just wanted to play around with it a little bit, put some separatrons on it. Watch, there it goes. It does make a return a couple minutes later. I finally catch up to it and pass it. I do double check to make sure that it's not going to be in orbit or flung out. It definitely does deorbit, and as you can see right there, I'm passing it. That's a little scenic little view right there of it flying overhead and us panning around. But yeah, it's pretty much just a basic fuel tank with a injection stage. And right here is the separation. We're close to the station. And I think I cut here to we're a little bit closer, so then you'll definitely see that the game starts to slow down the closer we get. I think right here I'm about 20 frames, and once I finally get up to the station, it's about 15. So this fuel tank is actually really easy to control when you're in space out here. I have the RCS ports, and it's just really easy to maneuver. So it's definitely, if something needs fuel at the station, it's definitely much easier. It's going to be pretty easy to refuel it. But we're getting pretty close to the end of the episode. I guess we're going to cut this one a little short. I don't have any more footage right now. I still need to design and come up with the idea of our next mission. I'm pretty confident it's going to be a mission to the moon, and we'll probably cut back to live recording then and have everything happen as it happens instead of doing this post commentary. I just didn't want you guys to sit through all this stuff. I went ahead and recorded it and cut it down as much as I thought was good for the video. It's just basic random, not random, but just the basic missions that everybody's seen before. Everybody knows how to get to orbit, everybody knows how to rendezvous and everything. So I just decided I'd do this stuff and wait to do the live recording once we actually start doing some interesting stuff. So yeah, I think I've pretty much decided we are going to the moon. We're going to set up a base and eventually start working on get a methane mining operation going. Don't know quite what we're going to do with it yet, but I think it'll be cool to have a working like a truck and rovers and mining vehicles and a fuel depot, and there's like a little base full of Kerbals and stuff. Make it look like an actual operation. But that's pretty much going to be it for this episode, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching. If you have any ideas for future missions or names of any kind of vessels or whatever, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond and get back to you. But again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.